Okay. Yeah, a service provider is somebody who works with different groups. They might be equity seeking groups or equity deserving groups to support them in accessing different services, whether that's accessing an employment program, accessing a digital literacy program. A service provider is that link between some supports that community members need and being able to offer those supports.
Service providers are organizations or a group of people that actually their job is to support individuals in becoming successful at jobs. That's strictly pertaining to employment. In general, service providers are there to support individuals living in the community, no matter what they do. So some service providers provide employment services. For example, Gateway, we provide support in the area of self-discovery and career exploration, job search, and on-the-job support and retention. Some organizations have funding where they're actually able to support people indefinitely, and that actually is sometimes a negative perception. So whenever I talk to employers, I always bring up the concept of best practices, and sometimes I'll actually send them just a summary sheet of what they should expect from people. So I think that's really, I think it's beneficial using a service provider, providing they actually do best practices.
Benefits of using service providers is you get their expertise, you get their knowledge. So using the example of a disability service provider, if you're hoping to create accommodation plans, if you're hoping to ensure that your hiring practices are accommodating for folks with disabilities, tapping into their knowledge and expertise can be really crucial for that. As well, it's a great pool of candidates to pull from that you may not typically think of. Service providers work with so many phenomenal candidates that just need to get in front of the right people to highlight the amazing skills that they bring to the table.
Ability too, right? And so I think service providers can provide a really important and valuable service to the employers because that actually sort of removes some of those barriers. It's really intimidating, I find, for employers to do something that's totally out of their purview. And so we really created the myth that folks with disabilities are special, right? They're a different group than the rest of us, when really that's not true at all. And so a service provider can go in there and dispel a lot of myths. And it's more than just watching the person do the job. It's about engaging with coworkers, right? Bridging that gap. That's so important for anybody, regardless if you're a newcomer, if you have a disability or whatever. That's really important for a workforce to include new employees. You know, you have to include them in the social aspect. And that's something else that service providers should be doing, and we don't.
Yeah, Gateway offers employment supports for people who live with disabilities and mental health-based barriers. We work directly one-on-one with everybody individually so that we can support them to find meaningful paid work. And that's really key because we want to ensure that folks are able to go on vacation, buy the things that they want to, live a life that they deserve to live. And so that's why we have an employment program. And that's why Gateway as a service provider is really important because we want to ensure that everybody has the right to work.